All right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. It is 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, and you know what that means. It's time for our 90-day business launch series. We're so excited. I'm excited for today. We have an incredible guest speaker. Before we get on, I want to make sure we have everybody on here with us. So go ahead and let us know where you're coming in from so that we know where in the country or even outside the country people are joining from. We have Washington. Congratulations, Sharon from Washington, being the first one to jump on. South Jordan, Dallas, San Diego, South Dakota, Elk Ridge, Utah. I'm not sure where that is, but I'm sure it's beautiful. We have people from Bakersfield, Alaska, St. Louis, Pocatello, right here by me. All right. We are getting everybody on here. I'm going to do this like I normally do. If you are looking at your chat group and if you go to the bottom of that group, it says all panelists, make sure to change it to all panelists and attendees. Because if not, it's just me and my guest here that see what you're saying. If you do change it to panelists and attendees, everybody gets to see what you're saying. So you get to be part of the conversation. So as we're going through this, please feel free to use that chat group. Let us know what you're thinking. Let our speaker know how you're feeling about what she's saying. It's always fun to interact, and it makes it so much more exciting for us to have you interacting with us. So with that being said, we're going to get into the call today. Just a couple announcements before I announce our guest speaker. I want to talk about a few things. First of all, the 80s party. It's coming up. And I want to tell you, we had hundreds of people qualifying for this 80s party by enrolling at least one customer or one business partner. Every single person who did that gets to participate in this event. It's going to be so much fun. We don't have a date yet, but we are going to have it shortly. What we want to do is give you enough time to get your 80s gear and come prepared. We want people to dress up. We want people to have fun. There's going to be prizes for best costume. There's going to be $7,000 worth of prizes given away on that Zoom call. Now, I've had a couple of people say, do I have to dress up? And the answer is no. But we really want you to because we want it to be fun. So you don't have to dress up. We want you to go to your local thrift store, get some 80s stuff. If you have 80s stuff in your closet, get it out. That's great. But we're excited about that. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll get you a date very shortly. Congratulations to everyone who qualified for that 80s party. It's going to be great. Caring Hands Day. Caring Hands Day is coming up on July 11th. I know that with COVID and everything going on, it's really hard to get together in groups. And so we're looking for you to find different ways where you can give back. It won't be like it usually is. We understand that. But find ways, if you can, with your local groups to give back and to do things that will help your community. I know here at the corporate office, we're going to be doing a food drive. We're hearing that the food banks here in Idaho, at least, are really bare on what they have. And so we're going to be doing a food drive. I don't know if that's something that you're interested in or you can do in your local area, but just things like that where you can help out and give back to the community. With that being said, a couple other announcements. Customer service. It's coming towards the end of the month, and customer service will be open until 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on the 30th. So that's extended hours on the 30th, so you can wrap up your month and you'll have access to them until 10 p.m. And the last announcement is that tonight at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I will be launching a video about something that we're doing at the end of the month. So watch for that. It's going to be actually on this page on Kyani North America, or if you're on the Zoom link, go to Kyani North America so that you can see that, because we have some announcements of what we're going to do to close the month. So with that being said, again, I'm so excited for this call. We've taken you through this series of calls, right? And we've talked about how you have to believe in yourself and how you have to have a strong why. And we've talked about approaching, and we've talked about presenting. And we had an incredible presentation of following the system last week with Paul and Kelly Vorwaller. But now we're looking at, you're really, if you're joining us in this process and you're moving your business along, we understand that sometimes things don't go as planned. And so that's why I wanted to bring on someone who I have so much respect for. She's been with Kyani for 13 years now. Can you imagine that? 13 years. So if anyone's seen the good, the bad, the ugly. This woman's seen it. She's had tremendous success with Kyani. She's able to bring her husband home, and they have a beautiful family. So I want to welcome to the call, top producing Green Diamond, Mrs. Ricky Brown.
Hello, Mr. Skyleur Steffensen. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great.
Okay, well, awesome. Thank you. I want to say hi to everyone. I am so excited to be here today. I want to, of course, give it back to Mr. Skyleur Steffensen for asking me to be here, for doing all that he does to support our teams. It's so important. It's so necessary. And we love being able to have that incredible support from corporate. So thank you so much. I see people jumping on from everywhere, all around the United States. That is so exciting. I feel so honored to be able to train, to be able to help maybe just add a little value this morning on our Wednesday morning. So my name is Ricky Brown. Yes, I'm from California. I have been with Kyani for 13 years. We have seen, my husband and I, the ups, the downs, all the in-betweens. But our story is interesting because a lot of people, when they first meet me, they say something like, oh yes, of course you're a top producing, member of the company because you've been around since the beginning, right? It's a question we get asked a lot. Oh, how many years have you been in the business? Oh, okay, well, you've been around since the beginning. No wonder you're at the top. But my story is different from others that were at the top. And honestly, to be honest, there are a lot of people that started this business that did not finish, that aren't here, right? They quit. And so it's interesting that people think because we're one of the first, that's why we're at the top. And that's totally actually not the truth of our story. When Matt and I got introduced, I was working full-time as a physician assistant. He was working full-time. We actually had dabbled a little bit in network marketing with another company, but I just wasn't passionate about the mission of that company. I couldn't really relate to the products as much. And to be honest, we had a good life. We made good living. We made much more than I was raised by a single mom. I mean, it came from very humble beginnings. So I thought, wow, we've done good, right? We're doing good things. But we were those people that were looking for the great, and we saw residual income. It didn't come in the right package at that time. But when we got introduced to Kyani, the products made sense. The package, the company made sense, And so we got excited about being a part of this, trying again, right? I am one who's like that achiever mentality. I finished undergrad a year early, when I got my master's. I don't say that to impress anyone, but just anything that I was able to put my mind to, especially young, I was able to do it. So coming into this experience, it was weird for a couple of reasons. One, of course, like anyone, I was worried, well, what if I fail? And what if I fail again, right? Because I kind of quit on the other experience. But of course, I gave myself reasons why, excuses, different things, right? But nervous about failure. Anyone else join and you're kind of nervous about failure, or you failed in the past, or you worry about failure, right? Give me a 1 in the chat if that's you. That's everyone. That's a normal reaction, right? We're all people. We all have those feelings. And then also, to be honest, I was a little nervous about playing team, about having to depend on a team. Being raised by a single mom, you see the memes where you make one grocery trip and you're carrying all the bags. That was us, my sister and I. It was like, if you need something done, you better do it yourself. You can count on yourself, And so it was a little bit nervous thinking about being in a team and thinking about how to work with a team. Anybody else have that kind of feeling? Drop a 2 if that's you. You kind of felt a little bit overwhelmed with that maybe. And learning how to work through that, right? And so we jumped on board though. We were excited about the products. We talked about the products. We shared. We actually became the first qualifiers for the Dream Car program when it was announced. We were in Vail, Colorado, and it was exciting. We were on a retreat there, and Mr. Kirk Hansen, our founder, said, "You qualified right now. Do you want to go grab your car?" And it was a crazy experience, but we did it. Became Ruby, but we stayed Ruby for so long, years, right? Years. And, it wasn't as fast as I thought. I mean, I graduated undergrad a year early. I got my master's as a PA in 5 years. I started working at 23. I thought I'm going to jump into Kyani, do the exact same thing, just go forward, do what it takes. And then it was a slower process. Anyone else ever been a part of a slower process? Drop me a 3 if that was you. It's slower than you wanted, right? You want success like yesterday, and it was a little slower than you thought. And so definitely we had to work through that. And working through that also, there were people who joined the business after me that passed me. Okay. It's a feeling that you don't like to feel. Everyone, if you felt this before, you understand what that feels like. You start feeling kind of jealous. You start feeling kind of resentful. You start feeling like, what do they have that I don't have? You start self-doubting yourself now. A lot of things start happening when your focus is not on the right thing. Okay. And what changed for us and allowed us to go from Ruby to Green Diamond in 14 months was that we literally said, okay, what is the difference? What are we focused on, and what are those who are succeeding focused on? What can we do to actually take this from where we are now to where we want to be, right? And it's kind of funny because when Skyleur asked me to train about failing forward, failure, what you've experienced, the highs and lows, I was kind of stumped, which is weird because obviously every great leader has had failures, but it's because we don't focus on failure. We focus on success, okay? And that's the game changer. When failure is no longer an option and success is the focus, everything about your business will change. Your mindset will change. The way you act will change. The things you do will change. Everything will change. So I really want to focus most of our time right now in sharing with you characteristics of success and how you go around or swerve at failure, right? Because it's going to happen. We're not able to avoid failure. It's going to happen. But how you maneuver through that journey, that process that can take longer than we expect, okay? It's crazy because it will take longer than you thought. It will cost more than you thought, but the reward will be so much better than you thought, right? People want to have a huge reward. They have big dreams, but they want the sacrifice in the middle to be small. And that's just not a principle of life. That's just not how it works in life. That's not how it works in Kyani. But if we have a big dream, we make the big sacrifices, we focus on the success, the positive things that we can control, we can have a bigger reward than we ever imagined. So let's talk about the 5 characteristics of success in maneuvering through the process and experiencing those failures. So the first thing is the right company. And hey, if you know you're in the right company, give me some fire, right? Give me some fire. We're part of Kyani. I can tell you you're part of the right company. I have literally been here since the beginning watching the highs and lows. And I love that our founders are so humble. They have so much integrity. They have so much vision. I mean, Mr. Carl Taylor always says, we may not always get it right, but we will never leave it wrong. Guys, we've gotten it wrong a few times, okay? But they've never left it that way. There's been fixes. I can promise you, everything that's happened in this business, in this company, has always ended up have been a success in the future, right? The bigger picture. Even if we went a little bit to the left, we could move back to the right quickly. Our founders have so much heart. They understand if they're doing something wrong, they're willing to fix it. That's huge, right? That's huge. And they have the financial backing. This may not seem so important, but when you think about it, when mistakes are made, sometimes they cost money. A lot of businesses don't last because they don't have the money to fix the mistakes. They don't have the resources, whether it's money or it's leadership or whatever it might be. Kyani's been around and continues to grow because those things are in place, okay? The other thing about our business specifically is having a system that works. And we know that that's happening too. I mean, we just had brand new green diamonds last month, right? Congratulations to the Thornhills, and lots of new diamonds all around the world, right? There's a lot of people growing, seeing success in this business. So obviously we're having a system, a company that works. Everyone who is winning Kyani is creating a bigger picture for Kyani and more success in the market. Then we have to have the right mentor. Wow, I could talk about so many leaders we have in Kyani, right? Mr. Angel Olvera has literally written 2 books that people use throughout our industry, not just in Kyani. Bulletproof Mindset, you know, your first 90 days in network marketing. If you haven't read those, you should. We are exposed to so many amazing mentors right here within Kyani. It's incredible, right? And they have experiential knowledge. This is something really important because there's a lot of people out there that you could follow, right? And there are people who are saying good things, doing good things. But if you want something that someone has, it's important to do what they've done. And there's something that comes with experiential knowledge. It's called wisdom, right? It's making the mistakes and learning from them and then being able to teach that so that, no, the person that you're teaching doesn't have to always avoid all of your mistakes. I mean, hopefully some of them, right? But it's so that they respond differently than you did, so that they don't have to react the way you did. They can actually respond, move on, and it doesn't cause them, you know, the big hurdle that it caused you. It's just maybe a little baby step for them, right? They just like hop over whatever that obstacle is. So it's something we have. The third one is the right expectations. Okay, this is so huge. This is probably the most important one, the right expectations, because it's important that we have the right expectation of our business, right? We understand that there is a microwave mentality versus a crock pot mentality. Microwave mentality, it's, you know, it's quick, it's quick, you know, you put it in the microwave, it's cooked in 1 minute. But honestly, have you ever made a roast in the microwave? You know, like it doesn't taste good, you know, right? It might taste good for the first bite and then, you know, it doesn't taste good. It's not as good. It's quick, right? But it's instant gratification or quick, but it doesn't taste good. You put it in a crock pot, yeah, it takes a little longer. Yeah, you have to wait for it, right? But it tastes amazing. It tastes better than you expected, right? It tastes better. And you have to have expectations also for the business that it's hard, right? We need to all understand for ourselves, for our business, for those we're teaching, anyone who tells you that this is easy literally is lying, okay? But you choose your hard in life, right? Everything's hard. I mean, it's hard to go to work from 9 to 5 every day and never know what your schedule is going to look like, you know, months in advance. I mean, you know, you're 9 to 5, you don't get a weekend off, you don't have a holiday, whatever, right? You don't get to set your schedule. That's hard. But this is hard too. There's going to be no. You're going to hear the word no. If you've heard the word no, give me a 1, right? You did not die. Yes, we've all heard no. It's okay. We're going to hear it some more. It's okay, right? People are going to quit. They're going to quit on the company. They're going to quit on themselves, right? It's going to happen. But all companies have highs and lows, not just Kyani, not just our industry. Amazon, Google, look at any of the big companies. There's ebbs and flows, right? It happens in any company. So we need to make sure that we have those expectations of ourselves, okay? This is something that's interesting to think about because you always want to make sure that you're bringing your energy and the right energy and that you hold yourself to the expectation that you would hold your teammate, right? Think about this right now and really be honest with yourself, right? How are you showing up right now for a presentation? How are you showing up for your team? What are you doing for your business right now? Okay. And if something was to come and, you know, a problem, how are you responding? Right now, think about it this way. Think about it. If I told you that right now, I'm going to put 72,000 QV in your business right now. Like I'm just going to say, hey, 72,000 QV, it's going to be added to your business right now. How are you showing up to the presentation now? How are you working your business now? How has your energy changed, right? If you said in your honest answer, and it's okay if you're being honest with yourself, and you said like, whoa, I'm showing up differently. I'm showing up working harder. I'm showing up being more excited. I'm showing up giving more. That's okay. You can be honest. But if that's the case, right, then we need to make sure we're doing that every single day, every single time. Be honest with ourselves. And then also, you know, how are you keeping expectations of your team, right? Because I was asked, you know, how do you teach your team to avoid the failures? How do you teach them to avoid? You don't teach them to avoid it. You don't. You teach them how to respond to it, right? You understand that they're going to fail. You understand that your team is not going to be perfect, right? they're going to make mistakes too, but we understand that we can teach them how to respond to the situation and help them to elevate their EQ. If you've never heard of this word before, it stands for emotional quotient. And there are studies that show that if you elevate your emotional quotient, you could actually increase your income by $29,000 a year, or more even in our business, right? And so definitely you want to be aware of this. So EQ, this is important, right? It's event plus response equals outcome. Okay? Event plus response equals outcome. So the event happens, we may not have control of the event. Our response we can control, and then there's an outcome. It's important that we realize the event does not equal the outcome, right? There is a factor in there, the response. And it's also important that we realize that the response is not a reaction. It's not emotional, it's thought through, right? We're putting our business hat on. We're working through these things. And you as a leader, your R creates the E for others. It actually can create what the event is for others, how they see what's happening, how they deal with the experience, what actually happens for them. So this is super important because as a leader, we can teach through response, right? And then of course, we want to make sure that we have the right attitude. This is number 4. Okay, so number 3 was right expectation. We want to make sure people understand they're running a hurdle race. This is not a dead sprint, right? They need to know when they come up to the hurdle, there will be a hurdle. They can be ready, trained, have the skill set to jump the hurdle and keep going. They're not going to have to get to the hurdle and then stop, or get to the hurdle and then, those people in our business that just like run through it, right? But then they're injured, okay? We can teach them how to actually jump the hurdle. Number 4 is having the right attitude. The right attitude is so important because we have to have a no quit attitude, and we have to ask ourselves in going through the process, right? Number 1, how far do I fall when negativity comes my way? Like, how far do I fall? Like, do I get super upset and I'm at rock bottom? Or is it just like, okay, I can, take that one, just kind of brush it off. Okay, I can get hit again. I can figure it out. I drop to one knee maybe, right? And the second question is, how long do I stay down? How long do I stay down? So do I fall down and I'm down for a month? Am I down for a week? Someone tells me, oh, I'm not going to become a customer. I don't want to try the products. Does that mean that I'm now down for a week? Do I stop talking to other people because that one customer said no to me today? Do I stop running my business for the month because somebody I was excited about talking to joined another business and they didn't join mine? No, because there's millions of people out there, right? There's millions of people out there. We have to teach everyone how to be a thermostat, not a thermometer, okay? Somebody put thermostat in the chat. You want to be a thermostat. You want to control the environment, have the right attitude. You can do that rather than become the thermometer where you're responding to the environment, right? We want to be the thermostat. Be the thermostat always. And we can't change people, right? But people can change. And as leaders, this is something we can help people shape. We can help them shape their attitude, right? You can have a rotten apple that decides that they want to change. They plant themselves and come back as a whole tree, okay? That can happen, okay? Don't waste all your time worrying about that. Let them go through that process, but definitely that can happen, right? We don't want to give up on people. But the right attitude is super important. Be that thermostat. They will change because you're setting the tone, the environment. And number 5 is the right people. Gosh, guys, we are in business with the right people. It's amazing the people that we get to be surrounded with in Kyani. Like attracts like, right? And we have just some amazing people. If you love your team, give me some hearts, right? If you love Kyani family, give me some hearts, because definitely we have the right people. And it doesn't avoid failure. Failure is always going to happen, but it happens less when you find the right people. The key to this business, I have been told this so many times, but when you really start paying attention and learning this will change your business. The key to this business is spending your time with the right people. You are looking for motivated people, not the people you need to motivate. People ask, How do you motivate your team? I don't motivate my team. My people, the team that we're working with, amazing people that we have in this business are motivated. We don't spend our time looking to motivate people. We look for motivated people, right? Give me a clap if you are a motivated person and you are looking for right? You're looking for you. And also, you know, we look for people who are problem solvers, right? We look for the dreamers, not the drama, okay? And so it's exciting to be able to find that. And you're looking for okay, Mr. Carl Taylor, if he's listening, or anyone else, another word for a donkey is an ass, right? So think about this explanation. In this time, you want to be with the smart asses, not the dumb asses, okay? And this is going to make sense when I explain this to you. But you want to look for those that are, you know, this is one time it's okay to be a smart ass. You want to be with that, right? If it's a story of the donkey, right? The donkey was walking along, falls into the well, stuck down at the bottom, you know, stands there, is miserable, kind of crying. Someone comes and sees this happening, is like, oh my gosh, I can't get the donkey out of the well. Well, we'll just have to go ahead and just, you know, bury it. They start pouring the dirt on, right? And so this donkey is just getting overwhelmed with more negativity, more failure, more problems, right? Focused on that. Just, it doesn't know what to do, right? Stays in the well, gets buried alive, literally, right? Then you have the smart donkey, the smart ass, right? Steps in the well, same situation. Nothing has changed about the event. Stepped in the well, okay? The only thing that's going to change is the response. Crying, upset, not happy about what's going on, right? In the well, not understanding what's going to happen. Someone comes along, says, oh my gosh, another donkey has stepped in this well. What are we going to do? Starts dumping the dirt. The dirt's flying onto the donkey's back, right? Negativity. Somebody said they wouldn't be their customer. Someone decided they weren't going to join the business. Someone decided they, you know, weren't going to attend events. Someone joined and did nothing. They went into the, you know, witness protection program. Anybody ever had that happen? Drop me a 3 if you've ever had that happen, right? You wanted more for them than they wanted for themselves. You don't know where the heck they went, right? They invested and then they left, okay? But the dirt's getting piled on. But this donkey is different, right? Instead of being so worried about all the negativity, he knows if he could just get to the top, that there are so many people out there that are excited to become customers. Because gosh, there's millions of people that have blood sugar issues that want, you know, promoted better blood sugar in their body. There's millions of people who want better sleep, who want to feel good, who are excited to make money, right? There's millions of people, billions of people in the world, all around the world. We're in 60 countries, right? So this donkey, instead of looking at the failure, he just shake it off, right? Shakes it off. The dirt falls down to the ground and he takes one step up. Guy shovels some more dirt, shakes it off, steps over, steps up another step. Donkey, more dirt, shakes, steps up. You get the picture, right? Pretty soon the donkey's on level ground, right? Pretty soon the donkey is right there at the top, right back where he started, and having a lot of fun, excited to go share with more people because he knows his purpose is bigger than falling into that well and succumbing to negative and to failure. He knows that he's got to go out and share with others, right? So be the smart ass, not the dumb ass, right? Get out of your own way, okay? We can do that. We can choose to do that. 90% of first businesses fail. 90% of second businesses succeed. But 80% of people never start a second business. Now, I'm not telling you that, you know, if you've had some failure in Kiani, you need to go find another business. Maybe this was your first and you just need a second, right? But what I am telling you is sometimes you're failing because you're not plugging into the system. Maybe you're trying to do it a different way, right? Maybe go away from what you're doing and plug into the right company, the right team, the right mentors, the right system, all these things, and see that success happen. You know, there are even things you can literally do to make sure that you're having less failures. Like fire yourself and rehire yourself. Check your attitude every day, right? Fire and rehire yourself as many times as needed. I cannot even count how many times that Matt and I have personally done that. I mean, it's so many times, it's ridiculous, right? Persist until you succeed. Until you succeed. Because most people persist until something negative happens. Or or they have a small bump in the road. No, persist until you succeed, right? Quitters never win, winners never quit. They always win because they persist until they succeed. Fail forward. There's a book. Fail forward. There's a book. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. These are great books, right? Bulletproof Mindset. You know, this doesn't work as well for the guys, although some guys will do this, but for us girls, turn on Shake It Off by Taylor Swift. Like, pump up the music. You're in a bad mood. You're in a funk, but you're asking yourself, how far do I fall down? And how long am I going to stay there? And you decide, you know what? I'm not going to fall that far down because I've got things to do, right? I'm going to climb back up out of the well, and I'm going to do it fast. So put on that music for 3 minutes, have a pity party, but then shake it off and get back going, right? We can do that. We can make that happen. To not try is the biggest failure of all. That's the main thing that I can say, guys. To not try is the biggest failure of all. Think about being a baseball player, right? You got to swing the bat. You got to swing the bat. But it helps when you have the right organization that you play for. It helps when you have the right coach that's helping give you the right, instruction. It helps when you have the right expectation. You know that the pitcher might throw a curveball, but you're ready, right? It helps that you know that you have the right attitude. You go up to the plate knowing that you're going to swing, you're going to hit that ball with all your might, you're going to do your very best. You walk up there with posture, with confidence, right? And it helps when you have the right people around you, the right team, right? The right people. There's something so special about what we do, because I want you guys to understand, even if you strike out, at the end of the day, if your team wins, guess what? You get to claim that win too. It's also your win. So don't be afraid of failing, and don't be afraid of working with others and helping them to succeed. Realize that there is so much room for winning in Kyani. There's so much room for so many to be at the top. And it's so much fun when you can look around and have all of those people around you celebrating together. It makes all of the failures so worth it. It actually makes you excited to fail. It makes you excited to want to fail forward, to know that when you fall, you are whatever your height is. I'm 5'6". I'm 5'6" closer to my goal. Man, I just want to keep failing fast, fall, get up, fall, get up, fall, get up, get there fast. And you can do that exact same thing. So I'm so excited to be able to celebrate all the wins here in Kyani. Of course, we're going to have failures, but as long as we don't let them define us, we only just let them make us stronger. We'll definitely see even more wins in the future. So thank you, everyone, for having me this morning. I love you all. I'm so proud to be a part of the Kyani family. Thanks so much, Mr. Skyleur Steffensen.
Wow. Ricky Brown, I love that training. I wrote down a lot of notes. I wrote down be the thermometer, control the temperature. I like that a lot. So many great nuggets. And I just want to say thank you so much. If you appreciated Ricky's training, give her some hearts. Let her know that you appreciated her. It's so great for us to have leaders that we bring on every week that just hit home runs and they just deliver every single week. And Ricky's done that. So one more time, Ricky, thank you so much for being our guest speaker today. Just to wrap up, I just want to remind you, tonight, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, check Kyani North America. We have some special news for you. And then next week, we will be here again, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, trying to help you find ways to build your business even better than you're doing now. And Ricky Brown helped with that today. So thank you, everyone, for being on the call. Thank you, Ricky Brown. Have a great day. We'll talk to everyone very soon. Bye, everyone.